Hello, welcome to this week's video. This week, very similar to last week, we'll be going over my game engine, which is less of an engine and more of a base setup for the game I'm making. It's text-based. So, the only things I've changed with the inclusions is, first of all, two comments, which are something I'm trying to figure out how to do with audio. If you have any suggestions on how to play audio with C++ without requiring Windows H, Windows.h I would greatly appreciate it. Please include that in the comments section, if you please. But besides that, I have some new definitions, or refinements, you could say. Each of these represent a certain color. For example, NRM stands for normal text color, red stands for red, etc., etc. All this from below right here. But essentially what this does is when I put printf and I include this in there, it will change the text color to whatever color I've defined it as. This I got from Stack Overflow, and it was the only one I could find that avoided using Windows.h. One of the main reasons why I was originally using everything but Windows.h is because I was utilizing an online compiler during school hours, which did not have access to the Windows.h or, frankly, any .h files. So I could use normal inclusions like include string, iostream, vector, and fstream, but it wouldn't allow me to do any .h files. Probably for a combination of knowledge security issues, but just probably couldn't find it. Now that I don't have that electronic anymore, since the school year is pretty much over, I may start to rely on it slightly. However, considering my final goal for this project, which I may reveal later on, I'm going to still try to avoid it like the plague. So, let's go to my new code segments. So we've already gone over retrieve line from file, length of file, get position of file, and retrieve entire file. And here's our first new one. A Boolean method, which returns a true or false, is a current response. It takes in a string response, and it starts with an int c, which starts at 0. It makes a temporary variable, which retrieves the line from file, is choice. Is choice is a new one, which I am using in order to figure out if a decision or you're allowed to make a choice or not. So all these falses stand for no, you cannot do this, and all the trues stand for you can make a decision based off of this. What Game Tester does is it essentially checks to see if any of these are current response. So while it's F, it's just going to keep going down line by line. And when it's not equal to F, if it's equal to your current response, by which I mean the location you plugged in, it will return true, and if not, it will return false. Alright, and then we have is a response. Now this one's very similar. It simply just checks to see if it is a response. It takes a location and the current file you want to use. It opens the file, creates a new line, and then keeps checking to see if that line is equal to current location. And if it is, it does another check, which calls current response with that line. And if it is a current response, it will return true. If not, it will return false. And then we have our new Changeline Color, which plugs in one moment. Okay, sorry, my bad, brain fart. So it pulls a string, which is color from the file. So it goes into this file called text color, which is filled with color statements. CYN stands for cyan, and WHT stands for white, RED stands for red, and NRM equals normal text. So essentially this just takes it and performs a printf task, which checks to see which changes the text color. Sorry, it's been a long day. And I've made one change to typing text, and that is to use Changeline Color, which just calls this with that color that I pull from text color. We have gone over typing text from vector. This one is respond to user. I don't think it's necessary to go over this one because I have no need for it currently. So I'm gonna go ahead and just close that. If you want to look at it, I'll leave it up for a moment. Why not? I'll give a quick explanation. It essentially prints out the exact, I think it's the location you put in. Oh, it prints out the specific line that your location plugged in is. So essentially, if you plugged in 1.01.0003, it will print out the location you plugged in's game text line. So again, I'll give you a moment to look at it. Alright. Then we have take response. This allows a lot of the other ones to function, which is this current response is response, and typing text more often. It takes a string input, it outputs a backslash, and then sin stands for, I'm not exactly sure, it may stand for just C input, and it stores that in the string input, and then checks is a response. I know it looks like it says AR response, but work with me here, please. I know I spelled input wrong. It's supposed to say input, but as long as it actually makes enough sense, it will function. But if that's true, it'll change the current location, and if not, it will perform a count by just stating error, that's not a response, and calling again take response, and by which that means it'll just go back up here. There is a note that may cause potential loops with no end. This shouldn't be an issue in the final version due to the fact that everything should be tested by them. Wait, did I already show this one? Ah, I know what this one does. Okay, so what this does is it retrieves the line from this new file called GameTextSpeed, and depending on the speed plugged in, it will run typing text with a certain delay in between text. And it will add these, they're not semicolons, double dots. Why not? And essentially this if statement just determines how fast I will run the display. And then return speed is the exact same thing, except it just returns the speed. And then we have find choices, which, as it states, finds the choices, and it will print them out by calling the display. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. What it does is, first of all, run through all the not choices, and then once it does find a choice, it will go down a line, and it will display the location. This displays a location. And then what happens is it then prints out the text response related to that. So if line 5 states, I don't care, and the location related to that was a choice, it would say location 1.01.0005, and then it will have the double dots twice, and then it will say, I don't care. And then we make temporarily retrieving the line from the file, just to double check with this while loop. And once that's all done, it'll go down another line. And then this one's kind of a pointless one. It mainly just takes up a ton of room. Like 299 to 362, that's what, 63 lines? All this does, I'm gonna make sure you can see this, and it's kind of pointless, but this thing just checks to see that all the files have actually been put in, which frankly is no big deal. I may end up getting rid of this one. But again, here it is for a moment. And let me close that now. And then finally we have a basic game runner, which just runs kind of like my text selection of sorts. Currently I have it just run forever, which is not the best thing in the world. However, until I figure things out, that is how it will stay. Sorry. So what this will check, this if statement will check to see if that current line is not a choice, and that's not a router. Now what a router is it checks to see if there's a specific location you want to jump to. Now where is that? Choice mover. There we go. So essentially this stands for a location that it will set the current location to. So if it's not a router, it won't do anything. If it is a router, it will set current location to that. And then we got file locations, so it'll jump to that current line. So if it's not a router, it'll simply type out the text. And another one I've put in is a skip method, which in some cases will add a bit more depth to your character. For example, having them say something slow and then something long without skipping a line, or saying two different things on two different lines. Essentially that is, does line skip, and if it says skip, it'll go down the line. If it says no skip, it won't do anything. And it'll just print out the next line. And then I make sure to update current location every time, which means I check this choice mover to see if it's a router. And if it's simply just false and it is a router, I will have it type out that line, and then I will go ahead and set the current location to the new location. Wait, is it doing that? Wait, let's show stuff text. If you're not a choice, Okay. Oh, never mind, it's just checking for no sleep. My bad. It's been a couple days, I have to admit. And that just updates the current location. And then if not, that means that it is true, or it is blank in his choice. It will go ahead and find the choices, which then prints out the choices, and then it takes a response, which checks to see if it's a valid response, and all sorts of the other cool things. And then system.cls, which I don't like to use, because it means it has the exact same power as me. It has the same level, essentially, which is not the greatest thing to do, because it can have more disastrous uses if I plugged in the wrong thing. However, I've double-checked this, and this one just clears out the screen. So, let's go ahead and just show this thing off. So I went ahead and plugged in a simple scenario. It's not really complicated. It's just to show off the progress. So let's go ahead and load it up. Here we are. So this is the boot up that I put in, just so I can see that I'm going to initialize. Hello there. My name is Alexandra. Alexandra? Yeah, Alexandra. I want to be your friend. How are you today? And then, as you can see over here, we have the location, the 2 double dots, and your response. So, I'm going to say, I am doing good today. So I will type in 1.01.000.5. And that's good to hear. When you're good, I'm good. So, as you saw there, it printed out the accurate response. And now, it prints out more stuff. Anyway, I was wondering if I could borrow $50. And again, the locations, and your response. So I'm gonna say, I'm not sure, because I don't really know this person. I haven't seen them for more than 2 minutes, so I'm not sure if I want to give them money. Why not? I thought we were friends. I do admit, some of these are a bit slow. I may figure out a different way to run this, so I can just put in any quantity instead of a standardized version. However, it frankly depends. So, I'm gonna just say, the first option, which is we were never friends, you're just mooching me for money, because frankly, that is what he's doing. Well, she, my bad. Alexandra's a girl. And it prints out the final response, and because I set the while loop to true, it just repeats the last line infinitely. Alright, so now you saw me do that first run, which is me saying, I'm doing okay. Oh, oop, that ain't right. There, close. We can, nope. There. Let's try that again. So, let's initialize it again. You saw me do essentially the same no run, as well as just say, okay, I'm doing good. And then again, hello there, my name is Alexandra. I want to be your friend. How are you today? I plug in my answer. Let's say I'm not doing too great today, so I am depressed. Well, I'm here to help. That's what friends are for, right? Anyway, I was wondering if I could borrow $50. And then, usual playout text. And I'm gonna say, sure, why not? No big deal, right? It's just $50. Thanks, I'll pay you back as soon as I can. He hands the money back to you. Oh, forgot to change that line to she, but you get the point. Here you go, and that's the end of it. Now, the way this worked, which allowed me to have branching paths, that is based off of the joint progress between file locations, which puts a line for each one, and choice mover. This essentially allows me to make choices. So for example, even choices that just state, even certain lines can jump to a certain point without having me put in an input. For example, you can see line 15 multiple times here, which line 14 essentially is the line that states, hey, can I borrow $15? So all of these allow me to print out unique text and interesting, fun things. So let's real quick go over each file before we head out. Does line skip allows you to skip a line, every line put into game text, or don't skip it and just add it to the end. Text color allows you to input certain types of colors into your text, such as cyan, white, red, and normal. Default. Choice mover allows me to make branching paths in my game, as well as route the path of the player in a certain way. This choice tells me what choices I have and what are just dialogue or game text. Game text speed, as it states, just allows me to use a certain speed in my game text. Game text is just my text. File locations is file locations. It gives me a list of all the locations I currently have. And then game engine, which is everything we've gone over. Anyway, I hope you had a good day today. Hope tomorrow will be just as great. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.